Never Death Row Production. Mike Tyson, next heavyweight champion of the world.
Alrighty guys, what's going on? Welcome on back. It's the Empire. I'm your host Risky. Happy Saturday to all. It is May 23rd. Looking back at yesterday, a dud of a day yesterday, back-to-back losing days. Thursday and yesterday, I don't know if it was the weather dropping back down, but like I said, 2 straight losing days. I am not feeling it right now. I spent the whole night with this schedule. I could have put the video out regular time, but I was like, let me spend an extra few hours, see if any pitching changes, any weather changes. Look, you guys already know the rules. It's on to the next one. We got a full slate of baseball here on tap today. Guys, Outlier Sportsbook, the link is down in the description. Sign up with them. The first week is free. Also, at the end of the video, the 4 bets we'll be placing here today ourselves. With all of that being said, let's jump into it. Alright, first game up will be the St. Louis Cardinals in Cincinnati taking on the Reds. This is the first game of the doubleheader they're playing here today. We got Palente on the mount for the Cardinals. We got Paddock on the mount for the Reds. Alright, getting into this one here, like we was talking about, this game got rained out yesterday. The Cardinals come into this one now losers of 2 games in a row. They are 5-5 in their last 10 games played. They got the right-handed pitcher Palente on the mount. An extremely mediocre pitcher, an extremely inconsistent pitcher. This is a guy that will come out, have a good outing, and then follow it up with 2 terrible outings, then back to a good outing. 10 starts this year. He has an ERA of 4.04. His biggest problem, the biggest thing that's been hurting Palente this season is his command, averaging 4.5 walks per 9 innings. That's absolutely terrible. Looking at the matchup here today for him, he's going to be seeing a Cincinnati Reds team on the season that are batting just .230 versus right-handed pitching. But since the month of May has begun, they've really started to get it together, especially versus righties. In their last 8 games played, they're batting .249 versus right-handed pitching. Palente hard hit rate right now is at 42%. Playing in Great American Ballpark, a hitter-friendly ballpark. That is something to pay attention to. When I did the breakdown for him, there was 3 guys that matched up well against him. That's Steer, Stewart, and Ellie De La Cruz. I could see Palente coming out here today, having his average start, going about 5-6 innings, giving up 2 runs. The day off yesterday really benefited the Cardinals, in my opinion. Their bullpen was able to get the extra day rest. That's going to help them out, give them the advantage late in this game. On the other side, we got Chris Paddock on the mount. Started off the season with the Marlins, was looking absolutely terrible. ERA close to 8. He made his first start last week with the Reds. In that game, the Reds still lost, but he had probably his best start of the season. 5 innings pitched, 2 runs given up. Granted, that Cleveland Guardians team towards the bottom of the league versus right-handed pitching this season. Today he's going to be seeing a St. Louis Cardinals team that's right in the middle. But in their last 8 games played, they're batting .252 versus right-handed pitching. They've been crushing righties of late. Paddock is a fastball pitcher. He's trying to mix in that change in the curveball. The Reds are talking about adjustments they made to his pitch mix. It's still too early to determine that. I'm still grading him off of what I've seen in Miami for the whole season up to this point, for a month's worth of work. I'm expecting Chris Paddock to get hit up in this game here today, go about 4 or 5 innings, give up 3 runs, turn it over to a Cincinnati Reds bullpen. Still one of the worst in the majors. I see them coming in, letting up a bunch of runs in this one. Looking at the weather, it's going to be about 75 degrees at start. We're going to have rain for the first hour, but after that it clears up. We're going to have 10-mile-per-hour winds blowing from the diamond to the outfield. Looking at the ballpark factor here, this season Great American Ballpark is the 2nd best offensive ballpark in the majors. It's the best offensive ballpark for left-handed batters. Let's get to the picks. The Cincinnati Reds are the betting odd favorites in this game here today, and I'm playing the road dogs in this spot. Give me the St. Louis Cardinals on the money line. The game total set at 9.5. I like the under 9.5 total runs. For the player prop, I'm taking Burleson of the Cardinals to hit a home run today. Up next, we got the Tampa Bay Rays in New York taking on the Yankees. We got Rasmussen on the mount for the Rays. We got the left-handed pitcher Weathers on the mount for the Yankees. Alright, getting into this one here, the Tampa Bay Rays won the first game of the series yesterday. The Rays are now 8-2 in their last 10 games played. They have their ace on the mount in Rasmussen. He's off to a very good start this year, close to 10 starts, ERAs at 3.19. Granted, his last few outings, he's been getting hit up a bit more than usual, giving up 2 runs in his last start to the Marlins in 5 innings pitched. Earlier this year, I want to say top of April, April 12th, he saw this Yankees team in Tampa Bay pitched into the 6th inning, gave up no runs. Today, he's going to be seeing a Yankees lineup that's batting .230 versus right-handed pitching, slugging .411. The Yankees bats have cooled off of late in their last 8 games played. This team is batting just .225 as a unit. This season, Rasmussen has a ground ball rate of 43%, strikeout rate at 8.5 Ks per 9 innings. He's looked really good this season. That cutter and the fastball combination's been lethal. I can see Rasmussen going about 6 innings, giving up a run here today, turning it over to a Rays bullpen that is still rested, still one of the better bullpens in the majors coming into it. I see them coming in, giving up a run, but nothing too crazy. It's not like I'm expecting them to get hit up in this one too much. On the other side, we got the left-handed pitcher Ryan Weathers. He's looked solid for the Yankees this year. 8 starts, 3.58 ERA. His last outing against the Blue Jays, though, he got hit up, pitched 5 innings, gave up 5 runs. That Blue Jays team is a team that's towards the bottom of the league this season versus left-handed pitching. The Tampa Bay Rays towards the top of the league versus lefties. They're batting .261 versus left-handed pitching. That's the 4th best in the majors. Looking at the matchup here today for Weathers, he throws that slider and the fastball combination, mixes in the changeup. He's at his best when he's working the strikeouts. This Tampa Bay Rays lineup does not strike out. They're a patient lineup, draws a lot of walks, a solid contact hitting team. There's a bunch of guys in this lineup that match up well against them. The 2 main guys I focused in on was Diaz and Camareno. Looking at the Yankees bullpen, they continue to play bad in this month of May. They've started to regress. They're looking like the Yankee bullpen from last season, if you remember how bad they were last year. This bullpen starting to struggle in their last 8 games played. They have a bullpen ERA of 4.85. Looking at the weather here today in Yankee Stadium, we're projecting rain for like the first 2 hours to 3. There's a good chance this game gets postponed, if not delayed overall. Let's get to the picks here. The Yankees are the betting odds favorites in this game here today, and I'm playing the road dogs in this spot. Give me the Tampa Bay Rays on the money line. The game total is set at 7. I like the over 7 total runs. For the player prop, I'm taking Yandy Diaz of the Rays to hit a home run today. Next up, we got the Houston Astros in Chicago taking on the Cubs. We got Tang on the mount for the Astros. We got Ray on the mount for the Cubs. Alright, getting into this one here, the Astros won the first game of the series yesterday. The Cubs are now 2-8 in their last 10 games played. They've been absolutely terrible of late. We have the right-handed pitcher Tang on the mount for the Astros. This was a guy that started off the season out of the bullpen for them. He was actually one of their better bullpen arms, but they started him towards the end of April. He started coming out being a starting pitcher. He hasn't looked good in these 2 games. He's only going 4 innings. Granted, he's coming off his best start of the season against the Texas Rangers, where he went 5 innings, gave up no runs. Looking at the matchup here today for Tang, he's going to be seeing 6 left-handed bats. For 1, he has terrible splits versus lefties. For 2, his hard hit rate on the season's at 49%. I can see Tang struggling in this game here today. He throws that slider and the fastball primarily, mixes in the sinker. There's a bunch of guys that match up very well against him. Pecro, Armstrong, Ian Happ, as well as Michael Busch. I can see Tang coming out here today struggling, turning it over to Nationals bullpen. They did play good in yesterday's game, and they've been playing much better of late, but they're still the worst bullpen in the majors. I'm expecting them to come in and give up a few runs here today. On the other side, we got Colin Ray on the mount for the Cubs. Continues to struggle in his last 2 outings. Pitched 8 innings, gave up 9 runs. His ERA in his last 6 games pitched is at 5.80. He's been struggling overall. Looking at the matchup here today for him, the one benefit, he's going to be seeing a Astros lineup that has 7 right-handed bats. That's going to work out for Ray. He has very good splits versus righties. Granted, this Astros lineup on the season versus right-handed pitching's batting .248, so they've been one of the better offensive teams overall on the season. Looking at the matchup for Ray, I do worry for him. He's a fastball pitcher. There's a few guys in this lineup that match up well against him. Alvarez, Paradas, and Walker. I could see him coming out here today, having his average start going about 5 innings, 6 possible, giving up 3 runs, turning it over to a Cubs bullpen that continues to play very well. I see the Cubs bullpen coming in this game here today, shutting the door on the Astros bats. Looking at the weather here today, it's going to be 55 degrees. We're going to have 10-mile-per-hour winds blowing from the outfield into the diamond. In yesterday's game, it had, I think, 15 mile per hour winds. We saw 2 home runs hit in that game, so I guess you could say less strong winds blowing in, better hitting weather overall than it was yesterday. Let's get to the picks. The Cubs are the betting odd favorites in this game here today, and I'm playing them on the run line. The game total set at 7.5. I like the over 7.5 total runs. For the player prop, I'm taking 8.5 of the Cubs for 2 total bases today. Next up, we got the Pittsburgh Pirates in Toronto taking on the Blue Jays. Paul Skeens on the mount for the Pirates, the left-handed pitcher Patrick Corbin on the mount for the Jays. Alright, getting into this one here, the Pirates lost yesterday's game, the first game of the series up in Toronto. The Pirates are now 4-6 in their last 10 games played. Today, they got the ace on the mount in Paul Skeens, coming off his second worst start of the season. The second time this year, he gave up 5 runs in an outing. Granted, it wasn't like that Mets game where he gave up all 5 in the first inning, but last week against the Phillies, pitched 5 innings, gave up 5 runs. Today, he's going to be seeing a Toronto Blue Jays lineup that is struggling versus right-handed pitching on the year. Granted, of late, they're hitting much better for contact. They're batting .248 in the last 30 days versus right-handed pitching, only slugging .377. Looking at the matchup for Paul Skeens here today. For one, this Blue Jays team has not seen any right-handed pitcher close to the caliber of Paul Skeens. I'm expecting Skeens to come out here today, pitch 7 possible scoreless innings, if not give up a run. The one thing that worries me about this Pirates team, and the reason that Paul Skeens needs to go deep in this game here today, this Pirates bullpen has been regressing. In their last 8 games played, they have a bullpen ERA of 5.15. They've been giving up a bunch of runs every time they come into these games. I can see the bullpen for this Pirates team coming in, giving up a run or 2 after Paul Skeens gets taken out. Also, like I said, depends how deep he goes in this one. On the other side, we got the left-handed pitcher Patrick Corbin. He's looked solid for the Blue Jays this season, coming out going at least 4 to 5 innings all the starts. His last 2 outings were his 2 worst starts, where he gave up 3 runs in both of them. Today, he's going to be seeing a Pittsburgh Pirates lineup that is struggling to hit left-handed pitching. On the season, they're batting .243 versus lefties, but in their last 8 games played versus left-handed pitching, they're batting .227. They've been struggling to hit left-handed pitching of late. Looking at looking at Corbin's matchup here today, a ground ball pitcher, a ground ball rate of 44%. I can see him coming out here today having success against this Pirates lineup, going his usual 5 innings, giving up a run, turning it over to a Blue Jays bullpen that is a very good bullpen, but they're taxed coming into this one. The arms that's going to be available for the Blue Jays, I see them giving up a few runs in this game here today. It's up in Toronto in the Dome. They're going to have the roof closed, so no weather to sway anything. Let's get to the picks. The Pittsburgh Pirates are the betting odd favorites in this game here today, and I'm playing them on the money line. The game total set at 7.5. I like that under 7.5 total runs. For the player prop, I'm taking Brian Reynolds of the Pirates for 2 total bases today. Up next, we got the Guardians in Philadelphia taking on the Phillies. Sony on the mount for the Guardians, Wheeler on the mount for the Phillies. Alright, getting into this one here, the Guardians won the first game of the series out in Philadelphia yesterday. The Guardians are now 9-1 in their last 10 games played. They've been playing some amazing baseball. A lot has to do with their pitching. Their starting pitching and the bullpen overall has been very good. Slade Sony's on the mount for the Guardians. He's been contributing. His last 3 starts, 15 innings pitched, only 2 runs given up. He's looked really sharp. On the year, he still has a high ERA, 5.16. He started off the season getting hit up. This is a guy whose expected ERA is still around that 5, so I'm not expecting him to continue this very good pitching pace that he's on right now. He's going to be seeing a Philadelphia Phillies team on the season batting .235 versus right-handed pitching. They cooled off offensively. They're now batting just .228 in their last 8 games played. Looking at the matchup versus Sony, I don't like the spot here today for him. For one, he's a fastball cutter pitcher. His hard hit rate right now is at 45%. Looking at the Phillies matchup, you see all the green. A bunch of the Phillies really match up well against them. Bryce Harper and Schwarber were the 2 main guys I focused in on. Like I was talking about at the top, it's the pitching for the Guardians that's been very well this month, this last 3 weeks, I should say. Their bullpen has been amazing. The bullpen arms available here today for the Guardians are very good. I see them coming in, stopping the bleeding. On the other side, we got Zach Wheeler. Since coming back for the Phillies, this guy's looked amazing. His last outing against the Pirates, pitched 7 innings, gave up no runs. He has a 199 ERA through his first 4 starts this season. He's going to be seeing a Cleveland Guardians team today that is terrible versus right-handed pitching. They're batting .222 versus righties, slugging just .366. Looking at the matchup for Wheeler, the first thing that I like is that sinker. The sinker's been lethal for him through the first 4 starts. Ground ball rate at 44%. I see Wheeler having a good outing today, going about 6-7 innings, giving up a run, if not 7 shutout innings here today, turning it over to a Phillies bullpen that is rested. That is a very good bullpen overall coming into it. I see them stopping the Guardians bats when they come in this game here today. Looking at the weather, we're expecting rain through like the first 3 hours of this game. I can see this game either getting played very late or completely delayed. Let's get to the picks. The Phillies are the betting odd favorites in this game here today, and I'm playing them on the money line. The game total set at 7. I like the under 7 total runs. For the player prop, I'm taking Bryce Harper of the Phillies for 2 total bases. Up next, we got the Mariners in Kansas City taking on the Royals. George Kirby on the mound for the Mariners. We got Kolek on the mound for the Royals. Alright, getting into this one here, the Mariners won yesterday's game 2-0. As a matter of fact, the Kansas City Royals are now 1-9 in their last 10 games played. They've been looking absolutely terrible of late. They're going to see the right-handed pitcher George Kirby on the mound for Seattle. He's looked amazing this season. 10 starts, ERA's at 3.45. He's coming off his worst start of the year. Last week at home, he saw the San Diego Padres pitch 5 innings, gave up 6 runs. Oddly enough, despite pitching in a pitcher-friendly ballpark, George Kirby this season has better road numbers. Today, he's going to be seeing this Kansas City Royals lineup. I talked about it. They're 1-9 in their last 10 games played. Since, I want to say, the last 2 weeks now, the offensive numbers for the Royals have really dropped in their last 8 games played. They're batting just .217 as a unit, slugging .370. Looking at the matchup for George Kirby, he really has a good sinker. Throws that sinker versus left-handed bats. Ground ball rate right now for George Kirby's at 38%. Strikeout rate, it's at 6.5 per 9 innings. Doesn't walk batters. I can see him coming out here today having a good outing. There was 2 guys that matched up well against him. That was Jansen and Garcia. Other than that, I could see George Kirby having a solid outing, going about 6 innings, giving up a run, turning it over to a Mariners bullpen that's rested coming into it. They've been one of the best bullpens all season. I see them coming in, stopping the bats for the Royals. On the other side, we got Stephen Kolek coming off his best start of the year. Pitched into the 7th inning against the Cardinals, no runs given up. His 2 starts before that, though, he got lit up against the White Sox, gave up 3 to the Royals in 4 innings pitched. 3 runs to the Guardians in 4 innings pitched. Stephen Kolek, in my opinion, is a guy that should be coming out of the bullpen as a starter. The big knock on him is the first time through the rotation, he really doesn't have problems. It's that second and third time through where he starts giving up hits. Control issues really start to come through. Looking at the matchup here today for him, he's going to be seeing 6 left-handed bats in this Mariners lineup. He struggles versus lefties. He's throwing that sinker right now that is not moving well. The slider in that Cardinals game was the big reason he was able to have success. I could see Kolek struggling in this game today, having a similar start to that Guardians game where he goes about 4 innings, gives up 3 runs, turning it over to a Royals bullpen, still one of the worst in the majors. I see them coming in this game here today, giving up a few as well. Looking at the weather out in Kauffman Stadium, it's going to be about 75 degrees throughout. A small gust of wind at 5 miles per hour is blowing from the outfield into the diamond. This season, looking at the ballpark factor for Kauffman Stadium, it's actually been towards the top of the league offensively. They're 6th overall in the majors right now. They're really good for left-handed bats as well. Let's get to the picks. The Mariners are the betting odd favorites in this game here today, and I'm playing them on the money line. The game total set at 8.5. I like the under 8.5 total runs. For the player prop, I'm taking Josh Naylor of the Mariners for 2 total bases today. Next up, we got the Mets in Miami taking on the Marlins. We got Freddie Peralta on the mound for the Mets. We got Max Meyer on the mound for the Marlins. Alright, getting into this one here, the Marlins took the first game of the series yesterday. This turned out to be one of the more difficult games on the schedule here today to call. For one, we have 2 good starting pitchers on the mound, and Freddie Peralta and Max Meyer. Freddie Peralta's coming, he's looked solid since the month of May has begun. He's coming off a decent start against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium, pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 runs. The big knock on Freddie Peralta, does not go past the 6th inning. 5 innings max right now is his medium. Looking at the matchup here today for him, he's seeing a Marlins lineup, a solid contact hitting team. They're batting .245 versus right-handed pitching. Granted, they're only slugging .373, but like I said, very solid contact hitting team, a team that's able to draw a lot of walks, doesn't strike out a lot. Freddie Peralta's throwing that fastball close to 60% of the time. He's going to be seeing a lineup that has 6 left-handed bats in it here today. I can see this Marlins team getting 2-3 runs off of Freddie here. Let him go in about 6 innings, turning it over to a Mets bullpen that continues to play very well. They're rested coming into it. I see the Mets bullpen arms coming in, stopping the bleeding. On the other side, we got Max Meyer, off to an amazing start this year. 9 starts, ERA's at .285. Looking at his last outing against a very good hitting Atlanta Braves team, he pitched 6 shutout innings in that game. Looking at the matchup here today for him, this Mets lineup is only batting .230 versus right-handed pitching. Granted, as a team in their last 8 games played, they're batting .247. Looking at the matchup for Max Meyer, throwing that lethal slider right now. The movement on his slider is killer. The fastball's been really good, as well as the changer, and as well as the changeup. What the hell did I just say? Looking at the matchup overall, I could see him coming out here today, going about 6 scoreless innings. Besides Juan Soto, I really don't worry about nobody for Max Meyer. Looking at the bullpen for the Marlins, they continue to play very well. They have some good arms available here today for them. It's down in Miami in the Dome, so no real weather to sway anything. Let's get to the picks. The Marlins are the betting odd favorites in this game here today, and I'm playing them on the money line. The game total set at 7.5. I like the over 7.5 total runs. For the player prop, I'm taking Stowers of the Marlins for 2 total bases today. Next up, we got the Washington Nationals in Atlanta taking on the Braves. Jake Irving on the mount for the Nats. We got Grant Holmes on the mount for the Braves. Alright, getting into this one here, the Braves took the first game of the series yesterday. Granted, it was a lot closer of a game than I originally intended. The game went into overtime where the Braves took it. Today, they're going to see the right-handed pitcher Jake Irving. He's continued to look bad this season. He's coming off one of his better starts of the year last week against the Mets. Pitched 4 innings, gave up 2 runs. Jake Irving saw this Atlanta Braves team last month, end of April, pitched 5 innings in that game, gave up 3 runs. Looking at the matchup here today for Jake Irving, seeing this Braves lineup once again, who is still the best team in the majors versus right-handed pitching, batting .268, slugging .449. They have a 119 WRC. Looking at the matchup for Jake Irving, he throws that fastball, sinker, curveball combo. None of the pitches are very good in my opinion. The curveball might be his best pitch overall. Looking at the matchup here today for him, there was a bunch of guys in this lineup that match up well against him. Michael Harris and Olsen are the 2 guys that stood out. This Nationals bullpen towards the end of April, first week of May, was playing very well, but in the last 2 weeks, we've seen the regression start to kick back in. They've been terrible of late. I see the bullpen for the Nats coming in, giving up a few runs here today, not to mention they're really taxed as well. On the other side, we got Grant Holmes. 8 starts this year, 3.80 ERA, coming off of back-to-back starts where he looked really good against the Cubs and the Red Sox. Pitched 10 innings, only gave up two runs between those 2 starts. Today, he's going to be seeing a Nationals lineup. Offensively versus right-handed pitching, the Nats are better than the Cubs and the Red Sox overall this season. They've been crushing it, 408 slugging. Grant Holmes is throwing that slider primarily this season. Fastball is the other mix-up pitch. Then every once in a while, he's throwing in that curve. But that slider-fastball combo has been lethal this season. I can see this Nationals lineup getting a run or 2 off of him, the 2 main guys being Abrams and Wood. I can see his hard hit rate right now for Holmes is at 42%. He is slightly prone to giving up the home run. I can see him giving up a long ball in this one as well. Looking at the Braves bullpen, the Braves bullpen is taxed coming into this one. The Braves are really going to need Holmes to at least go past the 6th inning here today. Looking at the weather in Atlanta, it's going to be raining at the start and probably throughout this whole game. Granted, it's going to be warm, but if this game does get played, I see runs being put up in this game. Let's get to the picks. The Braves are the betting odd favorites in this game here today, and I'm playing them on the run line. The game total set at 8.5. I like the over 8.5 total runs. For the player prop, I'm taking Olsen of the Braves to hit a home run today. Up next, we got the Dodgers in Milwaukee taking on the Brewers. We got Sasky on the mount for the Dodgers. We got Gasser on the mount for the Brewers. Alright, getting into this one here. For one, I was getting killed in the comments yesterday for picking Milwaukee. I did the whole breakdown. It was like, I explained why I'm picking Milwaukee, why they should win the game, but I was getting obliterated for picking the Brewers. The Brewers did win yesterday's game, 5-1. Milwaukee's now 8-2 in their last 10 games played. The Dodgers are 7-3 in their last 10. Today we got Roque back on the mound for the Dodgers, coming off one of his better starts of the year against the Angels. Pitched it to the 7th inning, only gave up a run. Granted, that Angels lineup versus right-handed pitching towards the bottom of the majors. Today he's going to be seeing a Milwaukee lineup that's towards the top of the majors offensively overall, especially versus right-handed pitching. On the season, they're batting .260 versus righties, 110 WRC. Granted, they're only slugging .388, but Roque on the season has a 47% hard hit rate. He's going to be seeing a lineup today, 6 left-handed bats, if not 7. I can see him really struggling in this game here today. The two guys that matched up really well against him, Yelich and Terang. I could see Yelich possibly going yard off of Roque in this game. Looking at the Dodgers bullpen, they're in a very good spot to come in and stop the bleeding. On the other side, we got Gasser on the mound. The left-handed pitcher is going to open up the game. He's probably going to go one time through the lineup. See the Dodgers order full of left-handed bats. After that will be a bullpen day for the Milwaukee Brewers. The Milwaukee Brewers bullpen overall has been very good, so I can see them coming in, keeping this game close here today. Looking at the weather out there in Milwaukee, it's in the dome, so no real weather to sway anything. Let's get to the picks here. The Dodgers are the betting odd favorites in this game here today, and we're playing them on the money line. The game total set at 9. I like the over 9 total runs. For the player prop, we're taking Shohei Ohtani of the Dodgers to hit a home run today. Next up, we have the Athletics in San Diego taking on the Padres. JT Ginn on the mound for the Athletics. Giolito on the mound for the Padres. Alright, getting into this one here. The Athletics in San Diego. The Padres won the first game of the series yesterday. The Padres are now 6-4 in their last 10 games played. Today, they're going to be seeing the right-handed pitcher JT Ginn. Off to an amazing start this year. He's made 8 starts, ERAs at .298. His last outing against the Angels, pitched into the 9th inning. Gave up a walk-off 2-run shot, had a no-hitter going into the 9th inning when he lost it. This game here today, he's going to be seeing a Padres lineup that continues to struggle versus right-handed pitching. Granted, versus righties, they hit for more power than they do lefties. They got to Jeffrey Springs yesterday, but overall versus right-handed pitching, they're continuing to struggle. One thing I like about Ginn, and this is one thing that's going to be very important in this game, he's one of the starting pitchers for the Athletics that goes very deep in the games, which keeps away that terrible Athletics bullpen. You're going to need that in this one here today. The Athletics bullpen's tax coming into it. The arms that's going to be available for the Athletics will come in this game and give up a few runs. So Ginn going deep is very important. On the other side, we got Lucas Giolito on the mound coming off his first start of the year last week against the Mariners. In Seattle, in a pitcher-friendly ballpark, mind you. In that game, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 runs. Granted, all the runs came in 1 inning. He looked solid for the first 4 innings. Then, like I said, he got hit up. It was his first start of the year. I'm not going to knock him on that one. But today, he will be seeing an Athletics lineup versus right-handed pitching, batting .252, slugging .410. 107 WRC. Giolito's throwing that fastball and a changeup combo. That's his 2 main pitches. Tries to mix in the slider as his put-away pitch. I can see this Athletics lineup here today really getting to Giolito. Him going about 4 or 5 innings, giving up 4 runs, turning it over to a Padres bullpen that continues to play well overall, but they are still regressing from where they started at the top of the year. It's out in San Diego. It's going to be about 65 degrees throughout, 8-mile-per-hour winds blowing from the outfield into the diamond. Let's get to the picks. Alright, getting into this one, the odds makers have this game as a dead even pick'em spot, 108, and I like the Athletics here on the money line. The game total set at 8. I do like the under 8 total runs. For the player prop, I'm taking Langoliers of the Athletics to hit a home run today. Final game of the day, we got the Colorado Rockies in Arizona taking on the Diamondbacks. Michael Lorenzen on the mound for the Rockies. Zach Gallen on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Alright, getting into this one here. These two teams have split the first 2 games of the series up to this point. The Rockies won yesterday's game. Both of those 2 games have been really low scoring. Today we got Michael Lorenzen on the mound. He's been absolutely terrible for the Rockies this year. ERA above 7 coming into it. His last outing was in Colorado against this Diamondbacks lineup. In that game, he pitched 4 innings, gave up 6 runs. Today, looking at the matchup for him, this Arizona Diamondbacks team continues to be very mediocre versus right-handed pitching. They're batting .230 versus righties, slugging .378. Looking at Lorenzo's matchup here today, he's throwing that changeup primarily and that fastball. That's his 2 primary pitches. His put-away pitches, that slider. All 3 of the pitches have been terrible this season. He has a hard hit rate of 48% right now. Corbin Carroll and Perdomo were the 2 guys that really matched up well against them. The one thing I like for the Rockies in this one is their bullpen. They're going to have a few good bullpen arms available here today for them. On the other side, we got Zach Gallen on the mound. He's looked terrible this season as well. ERA close to 5. Granted, he's coming off of one of his better starts of the year last week when he played the Giants, pitched 6 innings, gave up 2 runs. Today, he's going to be seeing a Colorado Rockies team that is much better than that Giants team versus right-handed pitching and overall offensively, in my opinion. The Rockies are batting .245 versus right-handed pitching, only slugging .293. Looking at the matchup here today for Zach Gallen, he's throwing that fastball and that knuckle change primarily. Those 2 pitches have been terrible all season. Granted, when he's able to work the ground ball successfully, that's when he's at his best, when he has the ground ball rate above 42%. Other than that, if he's trying to strike guys out and make guys chase, that's when he struggles with his command. In this game here today, I could see Zach Gallen really struggling with this Rockies lineup. For one, there's a bunch of guys that match up well against them. Guys like Doyle, Moniak, and Tover. On top of that, the Diamondbacks bullpen, their tax coming into it, the arms available for them, I could see them giving up a few runs. It's down in Arizona in the Dome. No real weather to sway anything. Let's get to the picks. Diamondbacks are the betting odds favorites in this game, and I like the road dogs in this spot. Give me the Colorado Rockies on the money line. Game total set at 9. I like the over 9 total runs. For the player prop, give me Hunter Goodman for 2 total bases today. Alrighty guys, before we get up out of here, the 4 bets we'll be placing here today ourselves. Our ladder play fell through for us. The Rangers did not come through. Damn, the Angels hadn't been hitting no starting pitchers for a week plus. They saw DeGrom yesterday, stomped on him. Anyways, let's get to today. Our ladder play of the day. I know it might sound risky because the Cubs have been playing like shit of late, but I like the matchup here today for them. They're seeing Tang. I like the matchup for Ray as well. We're playing the Chicago Cubs here today on the run line. We're getting them at plus 152. This is our ladder play of the day. Next up, we have a 3-leg home run parlay we're playing here today. We're taking Shohei Ohtani of the Dodgers. We're then going to play Matt Olson of the Braves. And we wrap up the parlay with Shea Langoliers of the Athletics, a $10 3-leg parlay. Up next, we have a 3-leg parlay we're playing here today. We started off with the Phillies on the money line. We're then going to play the Atlanta Braves on the money line. And we wrap up the parlay with the Washington Nationals. Atlanta Braves game total to go over 8.5 total runs. And our final bet of the day will be another 3-leg parlay. This time we're going to start it off with the Chicago Cubs on the money line. We're then going to play the Dodgers Brewers game total to go over 9 total runs. And we wrap up the parlay with the Athletics on the money line. Once again, guys, before we get up out of here, I just want to send my salutes out to you all. 2 bad days in a row. You guys know I appreciate you guys for always rocking with me. You guys know I appreciate you all. I respect you all. Hope we all win some money here today. And I'm going to catch you on the next one.